Do we need the floor of the stock exchange to ever reopen?
Hey, Sarah and Wilf, thanks for having me on with you. Just let me start by saying that the markets are actually working very, very well, and I want to acknowledge that, and I want to commend not just my own colleagues at the NYSE, but NASDAQ and others. I know it's cold comfort to those who are watching their 401ks or other retirement plans dwindle away here, but it's very important that the market infrastructure works in a volatile period. And I've never seen volume like this. I've never seen order counts like this in the options market, the equities markets. And these exchanges are handling it without a hitch, which is really amazing because we're talking in the tens or even hundreds of billions with respect to messages, in particular in the options market. I think, Sarah, to answer your question directly, the NYSE can work without the floor. The benefit of the floor is that you have those traders down there. You have that human element, and they're able to source liquidity. Really, most importantly, at the open, the close, on IPOs, on halts and reopens. And so if you look at the data, the opens and closes, the IPOs on the NYSE floor are less volatile than otherwise. And so, this will be an interesting test. My supposition is that you're going to see slightly more volatile opens and closes if there happen to be IPOs, perhaps IPOs. But it'll be something that we can compare against. I can guarantee you that market structure professors from all around the country are ginning up to study this data. And it'll be interesting to see what it reveals.
Tom, to that point, I mean, I doubt there's going to be many IPOs in the next couple of weeks. But if there are, again, any forced closes because we're limit down, do you think those reopenings are going to be pretty tricky and pretty bumpy without the guys on the floor?
This has been 15 years in the making. And the NYSE is the exact right person in Stacey Cunningham. She's an engineer by training. She has been involved in the floor, personally involved in overseeing this all-electronic effort for many, many years. And so it'll work, Will. It'll work fine. And NASDAQ, of course, has been all electronic forever. So I'm not too worried about it. The question is, will it be more volatile than it would otherwise be when the floor is open? And again, my guess is that, yes, it will be. It'll be satisfactory, and certainly it's the right thing to do to keep people safe. I know the exchange had a couple cases of coronavirus. So it was a no-brainer, and I think it'll work just fine. And I suspect that we will see the NYSE floor humming again by the summer.
We should also say that it hosts us, and it's always exciting, especially on IPO days. Tom, you mentioned how unusual all of this action has been in the markets. I mean, 4 circuit breakers triggered since early March. You talk to a lot of smart people. You observe the markets yourself. What do you make of the relentless selling here and just what's being priced in terms of how bad it's going to get for the economy as a result of this virus?
The markets are the messenger, and prices are the message. And the market is doing a fantastic job of telling us that this is a massive, massive problem. I think the market is telling us we don't have a plan to get out of it. It is not too early to start thinking about what exactly does the plan look like to get out of this. What is the plan to reduce social distancing over time, to get people back on planes and trains? What is it going to look like? Because you need to give the market a little bit of hope. And I'm really not hearing any of that. And I think the market is sensing it, that we may be caught in this kind of long-term loop. And that's why we're not hearing a plan to get out of it. I think the second thing the market is telling us in the near term is that Congress needs to get their act together. I mean, this has a heartbreaking toll on service industries. Originally it was the service industries, the travel industries. Now it's every industry, and it's at this exact moment, not tomorrow or 3 days from now, but this exact moment that we need to see our government act in a constructive way, be seen to be supportive. And I think that's what the markets are doing. They're really functioning well, and I know some people are going to reflexively I don't know. They're not going to like hearing me say that. But the markets are actually working very well, and they're sending the message that needs to be sent. This idea that we should shut the markets makes no sense whatsoever. You need these messages to be sent to policymakers and others. And also, the markets, even if prices are going down, they provide an avenue for liquidity, which is much needed by some companies, some people, some retirement accounts. And so as painful as it is, and it's painful for almost all Americans, we need to leave the markets open, and they need to continue to function by and large in the way that they're functioning, even if we're going to see extreme volatility.